Which country makes the best sandwiches?
That is a perfect sandwich.
Jamie's finally found his video.
We can't chew through the steak.
Well, today we've got 9 spectacular sandwiches from Italy, Japan and USA, and we're tasting them round by round across 3 categories to be inspired, blown away and ultimately to crown a winning nation.
We got a defibrillator.
The sugar got him.
Can I just say thank you for your work over the last 15 years that has led us to being able to do this.
You are welcome.
Round 1, the iconic sandwich. Lift the cloches.
Oh, wow.
In each round, an iconic sandwich from that nation. Eat it, enjoy it, talk to us about how you're enjoying it, and then we'll get you to rank them at the end.
I'm looking at Italy, and then I look at Japan, and then I look at the US.
So from Italy, we've got a panino con mortadella. From Japan, tamago sando. And from the USA, a grilled cheese.
I think there's some mortadella in there.
Now that is a filling to bread ratio that I can get on board with.
So panini, popular right across Italy. This is a panino, a singular, and it is stuffed with mortadella. Probably one of the most widely consumed salami in Italy, originally from Bologna. In that sandwich you also have stracciatella cheese and broccoli antipasti.
It's perfect.
That is a perfect sandwich. I'll tell you why that's the perfect sandwich. Is because it has a range of things going on in it. The meat and the cheese, classic, but then actually having the freshness of a salad in there just works so well.
So this is a form of broccoli, essentially cooked and then marinated in, and sandwich, by definition, has to be sandwiched between bread and, in this instance, focaccia.
I love the fact it's got texture, but it's not crispy texture. The focaccia's soft. It's easy to bite through that volume of salami. It's salty, but then the saltiness is offset perfectly by this super rich, creamy cheese. And then actually, yeah, the vegetal nature of the greens just gives it a nice little, almost like a bitter dimension. It's
Jamie, you've got
stonking.
9 sandwiches to cut. I'm just warning you. I don't want any moaning when we get to 7, 8 and 9 because you've demolished the first.
I'm gonna come back to this. This is only round 1.
I mean, I do value what the pair of you say, but I value other people's opinions too. This is Anthony Bourdain's favourite sandwich. If you've ever had the privilege of going to Bologna, it is a phenomenal place. There's literally pretty much a museum to mortadella. There's a place called Mortadella Labs that do incredible sandwiches there. Very much that kind of classic sandwich from across Italy, but with a very regional take with the mortadella. To Japan, in the middle, with our tamago sando. You'll notice the colour of that egg filling is nice and rich. It's made with a 2 whole egg plus egg yolk ratio, Kewpie mayonnaise, then salt and pepper and a little bit of sugar. Most importantly, sandwiched in milk bread and cut very, very acutely with the crusts removed.
Instantly, the milk bread, that looks like it's processed white bread and it should be super soft. It's not, it's thick and it's got such a chew. It's sweet.
It is sweet.
What is that?
It's milky. I mean, it's called a milk brand, Shokupan. And while celebrated and iconic
It is milk, yeah.
in Japan, it is often a convenience store, a 7-Eleven classic.
It's a very rich sandwich, but it does just deliver on richness and creaminess.
I mean, an egg mayonnaise sandwich, I would argue, is quite iconic in the UK as well. But I think what stands this apart is the use of the Kewpie mayonnaise, and that has that slight acidity to it as well. But salt, pepper, and sugar, so it's the trifactor of seasoning. Move on to America. You have yourself a grilled cheese. It has sliced mozzarella, Monterey Jack, red Leicester, and smoked applewood. It's then in sliced white bread, brushed in mayonnaise on the outside, but then fried in butter. So it has that mayo butter, which gives it that golden colour and crisp. Comment down below from these 3 nations, which is the most iconic sandwich? We chose the grilled cheese because YouGov claimed it in a report and a bit of research that it was the US's most popular and therefore most iconic sandwich.
I know I talked about richness, with the Japanese sando. But this is so rich and fatty. And I mean that in the best possible sense.
Oh, this is a completely different eating experience to all the others. And that this just hits you straight in the dopamine center.
In the arteries.
Yeah. This goes straight into your left ventricle, stays there.
I feel like you crunch through the outside in that crust, which is a lovely crust, but then you instantly squidge your way through the rest.
That's what's amazing about grilled cheese is you get the texture on the top, but because it's just fried either side, the bread, it's almost still bread in the middle.
Like with so many of the sandwiches we're going to cover today, let's also address it's not an American sandwich, it's just an iconic sandwich from America. Putting cheese between bread exists back to Roman times. The croque monsieur was like early 1900s in France. This kind of became popular and therefore iconic in the US with the invention of sliced bread. I would now like you both individually to score these between 1 and 3 points, 3 being the most number of points and therefore the better. I want you to score them based on your personal preference and favourites, but this is the iconic round.
I crave different things at different times. Okay, I'm going to go USA in third, the grilled cheese. Japan in second,
2 points.
Italy first.
3 points.
And that's simply because, would I go back to this right now above the other two? Yes.
Jamie, where are you putting your nations?
My 1 point's going to Japan. My 2 points is going to the USA. My 3 points is going to Italy. I can't get over the nostalgia hit from a grilled cheese. That is pure nostalgia for me, which I don't get in the same way that I get from the sando one. I absolutely love it. To me, that is so iconic in terms of delivering a bit of everything.
So Italy takes a strong first lead with the panino con mortadella, but we move on to the second round, which is local legend. Local legend is a more regional specific dish that you may or may not have heard of, but the locals think it's delicious. Has it travelled as far? In some cases yes, in some cases no. 3.
There's a running thing with America. One of these is not a sandwich.
Incorrect. From Italy, you have mozzarella in carrozza. Essentially, it's mozzarella sandwich panade. From Japan, you have yakisoba pan, which is your kind of stir-fried yakisoba noodles in a soft bread roll. And from the USA, a Reuben.
So that's the only one I've heard of.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, that is something. We got a defibrillator.
So mozzarella in carrozza is from southern Italy. It's essentially mozzarella between 2 slices of bread. You then pinch the edges to seal in the cheese and then dip it in flour and egg and fry it, so it's a batter, or flour, egg and breadcrumbs and fry it. We've done it with the breadcrumb version.
It doesn't taste as heavy as I thought it would. It tastes greasy, but it doesn't, well, maybe you just have to wait for it to hit.
It's not too unusual because it's very reminiscent of a mozzarella stick, which lots of people will be used to. Where I think we have gone really well is very heavy on the black pepper on the mozzarella, because actually that's the bit that gives you a lift and it takes it away from just being melted cheese in oil.
Yeah, the salt and pepper actually. So the saltiness gives me melty halloumi vibes now. And then, but you've got black pepper. Like it's actually so much. It's got more going on because of those two.
And there's, so it is in bread.
Yep, has to be a sandwich, right? So it's between 2 slices of bread, and then you pinch the edges so the mozzarella doesn't escape, because it doesn't always have the breadcrumbs around the outside. It could just be flour and egg, almost like our version of eggy bread, but with cheese in the middle. But this version is with breadcrumbs.
So interestingly, the bread disappears in that setting. You can't taste it, you can barely see it.
So we're talking Campania, so southwest Italy, Naples, Amalfi kind of area. Dates back to the 19th century and was very much a way of using up leftover stale bread, giving it a new lease of life, and any of the kind of offcuts of mozzarella that maybe weren't the whole prized items. And in carrozza literally means in carriage because the cheese is in carriage of the bread and the casing. Let's move on to Japan. Now, we should address, is a hot dog a sandwich? Many an episode to catch up on. It is quite literally called yakisoba pan, and it would be made in a bread roll, but it's very similar to a hot dog roll, and it's been steamed. So stir-fried noodles, and then it goes into that nice steamed bun.
Straight off the bat, I'm getting pickles.
Yeah.
Or like an acidity, which then when I'm holding a hot dog bun makes me think I'm going to be tasting a hot dog.
Or banh mi is where my head went, actually.
Different sort of pickles,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. And actually, the toppings, we should talk about the yakisoba noodles. So wheat noodles, stir-fried, good heat, good colour, good seasoning. And then it is topped with seaweed flakes and pickled ginger.
That is just a far more convenient way to eat noodles.
Right, it was a stir fry and a hot dog bun.
Don't take this the wrong way, Japan. There is nothing special about it because it is another dish that has just been put into a different vehicle than you would usually eat it.
Yeah, 1950s in Tokyo, convenience stores would sell bread and yakisoba noodles, and one person came in and said, I'd like that in that, and they did it, and it kind of stuck. It's now popular in cafeterias and especially at things like festivals.
The butter from the brioche, when combined with the soy, gives you like Marmite on toast, almost.
The first one you've both finished.
Oh no, what are we doing?
We're halfway through. Don't worry about it. We've got this. We're on the home straight. Don't look there.
We're doing a service here, guys. This is all for you.
Oh, look at the...
Oh, wow. Now, my expectations for this, and also knowing what it tastes like, is that there's a more nuanced flavour balance similar to the panino in the first round.
So in this one, salt beef is really kind of the key ingredient. It's on rye bread with mustard, pickles, sauerkraut and cheese. And it is that real melting pot because you kind of got Swiss cheese, you got rye bread from kind of Europe and Eastern Europe, you got sauerkraut, arguably from sort of Germany, maybe even Mongolia originally. And then you've got Thousand Island dressing or Russian dressing. So you've got all of this melting pot of ingredients into one sandwich that is then buttered and toasted.
It is too much in the best way because it has everything going on in there with the freshness, with the acidity, with the fattiness, with the richness, with the creaminess, with the crunch, with it, the saltiness of the beef. It has absolutely everything turned up to 11.
It's one of my favourites.
Sometimes you have to do one of these videos to start to form opinions on what the best sandwich in the world is. And this is helping me get towards that conclusion. Because the sauerkraut and the mustard are transformative.
The question of where it originated, there are a few conversations. Some say it dates back to a New York Jewish deli called Reuben's Restaurant and Deli, hence the Reuben sandwich. Some say that given it's not kosher, having the beef and cheese together, it's actually from Omaha, created by Reuben Kulakowski, a Jewish Lithuanian-born grocer. So the local legend was either Reuben or Reuben, but either way it's a local legend. Mike, rate them on local legendness. Which is your favourite local legend?
So I would give 1 point to Italy, 2 points to Japan, 3 points to the USA.
Oh, controversial.
Do you think?
No, I'm going exactly the same. 1, 2, 3.
The tables have turned after round 2. USA now taking the lead with 9 points as we move into the final round, the wild card.
Oh.
Ready?
Yeah.
Wild card from Italy.
What is that?
Oh my goodness.
I love those rolls.
I'm down here. The smell is insane.
Lampredotto from Italy.
Japan.
Of course.
A fruit sando.
This was Ed's favourite when we went to Tokyo, wasn't it?
Oh, brilliant.
And finally from the USA.
What on earth is that?
What is that?
And given its origins, probably Hibarito.
I don't know how we're gonna... Oh, it's squidgy.
So we're talking about a sandwich from Tuscany, specifically Florence, and it is a very, very old sandwich.
I think bread looks quite fresh. I didn't expect it to be warm.
So the mixture is literally spooned onto a nice soft roll and topped with salsa verde. And the mixture is cooked in a wonderful herby tomato broth. Have you worked out what the mixture is yet?
Is it offally?
It's almost like pork scratchings, but
It is the fourth stomach of the cow,
The first three weren't good enough, or?
the abomasum. It's tripe. So tripe vendors in Florence were a really big thing, and they would slowly cook this and braise this in a herby tomato broth for a long time, and then that is spooned into a soft roll, topped with salsa verde, which is where you're getting that freshness and that kind of garlic zing, and that is the lampredetto.
there's almost no bite to the tripe. So it's almost like you don't notice it's there,
Yeah,
apart from a bit of mush.
a bit of mush, and it does have that bitterness, I think. And actually, when you combine that with the salsa verde, which also has like the bitterness of herbs, as much as the herbs do the lifting element, they also have that bitter, earthy part to them as well.
Like an earthy herb, but also like almost like the irony kind of offally nature.
I really love the flavour.
A tripe sandwich.
Not a massive fan of the tripe. No.
I've never been a big fan of tripe, and actually combining it with a herby broth and then a salsa verde does
Make
distract
it
you from from the tripe. But that's not my favourite one that we've had today so far.
Let's move to the fruit sando from Japan
I'm getting really full now.
for the wild card.
Okay.
It's gorgeous as a sandwich, isn't it? I mean, it's such a looker. Did Marks and Spencer's make a version in the UK? Was it last summer for the?
yeah.
Essentially for Wimbledon was strawberry and the same kind of filling. So it is lightly whipped, or rather enough whipped so it holds its shape, cream that's slightly sweetened, and then inside you have any number of fruits. But this has got kiwi, orange and strawberry.
That's fantastic. It's like a cake.
Did you
It is.
expect a sweet sandwich when you sat down today?
No, I didn't actually.
No.
It is much more like a Victoria sponge than it is a sandwich, and that's not a bad thing.
No.
Popularised when fruit became more readily available. However, it kind of hits two different tiers of the market. One is the convenience store, and you can go into a 7-Eleven and pick one up. But the other is fruit parlours or fruit salons, where you would go and they would be almost the same sort of beautiful degree as a French patisserie, but in sandwich form.
Really? That's
Wow.
great.
And it's healthy.
Yeah.
The final wild card from the USA, Hiborito.
Is that a plantain
Yeah,
as bread?
like I said, it's a wild card. I don't know if the Earl of Sandwich had this in mind, but what it is meat, usually flank steak, cheese, lettuce, tomato, all in between fried plantain. And originally created by Chicago's Puerto Rican community.
I can't even eat it. Oh, it's spicy.
It's marinated steak, and then it's often got like an aioli in it as well.
There's a couple of different heats going on there, because there is like a chili heat, but there's also a massive thick slice of raw red onion in there. That is a hell of an experience. I really, really like the flavours. It's just impossible to eat.
You can't chew through the steak. Once it goes in your mouth, you can't pull it away. I'm really enjoying the plantain. Because it's not crispy.
So essentially the plantain is peeled, sliced, fried, quite thick, and then once it's cooked and fried, smushed out a bit to give it a bit more surface area so that it can sandwich the fillings. These are all wild cards. One is sweet, one is full of tripe, and one doesn't even use bread.
That one has the most extreme flavours. Spicy mayo is fantastic, but yeah, like the raw red onion, which is obviously quite sweet. Plantain's great. Like it's al dente, it's got a bite, but it's softened.
I'm not
I love the flavour
100%
of it.
sure that plantain works as an encasing.
No, it doesn't, because it slips and slides. And the steak, like you can't physically chew through it enough to pull it away. So once it's there, it doesn't go. You just have to eat it like that.
When we talk about sandwiches, the beauty of a sandwich is its engineering. Like the bread is there to soak up juices, to be a nice clean barrier to the fillings, and to basically protect it and make the fillings last longer. It's not really doing that in any of these three sandwiches. Okay.
Wow.
3 more boards demolished.
Blimey.
This is it, isn't it?
I now need your rankings.
Wild card, it's got to be Italy 1, USA 2, Japan top spot with 3 points. That is phenomenal.
The sugar got him.
You look at it and you go, that can't work, that's going to be disgusting. You eat it, you're like, this is cake, but it's a sandwich, so I can have cake after this for dessert.
1 point to Italy. 2 points to USA, 3 points to Japan. That to me could also sit very, very happily in the iconic sandwich round as well. I know it's a complete wild card, but it is such a great dish.
So final scores are in. Across those 3 chosen sandwiches, comment down below if there are other sandwiches we should have put into those rounds.
Obviously there are, yeah.
Italy scoring 10 points, and both Japan and USA winning with 13 points each.
Joint top, share a gold.
I have a funny feeling the comment section is going to be rife with debate about the best sandwiches from these 3 countries in those 3 categories. But if you want to see round 2 with 3 different countries, you need to give the video a like, because if we don't get 15,000 likes, you ain't getting another one.
We can't be streaking if you ain't liking.